Hey, y'all, and welcome to Roundtable Talk with Tay and May,
where we aspire to show you no matter what you look like,
whether you're rocking jeans and Jordans or pearls and heels,
no matter what you've done or what you may still be struggling with,
addiction, promiscuity, drinking, depression, whatever, there is a seat in the kingdom for you. So come on in. We invite you to have a seat at the table as we do real talk, kingdom style. Hello, everybody. Look, happy Friday, y'all. Welcome to another episode 8, y'all, of Roundtable Talk with Tay
and May. Hey, y'all, how's everybody doing?
Yes. So, you guys, as you know, as we say every time, we are always excited to come before you guys, because we love y'all and we just we enjoy it. But tonight is like super special. We're super excited, for what's before us. Tonight, episode 8. What is episode 8 called, sis?
Episode 8. We're about to give y'all something real lit, y'all. This is called Men Matter. We have some magnificent men building the kingdom up, and they have a special word for each and every single viewer, whether you're a man or a woman, but definitely geared towards building that kingdom. So Men Matters is what episode 8's called.
Yes, absolutely. So, like she said, we are going to be joined by 3 amazing men. So excited to have them. And so we're just ready to bring them right on in. We're gonna get right to it. Here we are. Hello, everybody. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome.
Hey.
How's it going?
Great. Well, we really appreciate you all. We're so excited to have you guys. So what we can do is we can go around. We'll allow you guys to introduce yourselves, and then we'll jump into what tonight is all about. So I don't know how it is on my screen, but on my screen, Rashai is first. So Rashai, yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'd like to thank you ladies for having me. My name is Rashad B.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dennis, aka Mr. D Best.
And I'm Christian Johnson. Excited to be here with you.
Yes, guys. So again, we're so excited to have you guys. So Men Matters, just a rundown of what tonight is all about. Probably a little bit over a year ago, God really led me to he just really gave me a heart for men, and he just had me begin to start praying for them, and just really having me notice some of the things that men go through, and just experiences, and even some of the issues that men go through, and how sometimes men can get a very unfair rep, and just literally like, and it was kind of, I'm gonna be honest, it was kind of not weird, but I'm like, God, what's this all about? What is this all about? Because when I say he really just had me focusing on men, and May knows that, like, anytime we were meeting up in a group, it was like, okay, what's the prayer request? And it's like, listen, we about to pray for our men. You know what I mean? Because I know that a lot of what's going on, not just in the world, but men, I know that a lot of that is because of brokenness, And like I said, a lot of times men just get this bad rap, and God really had me begin, like I said, to not pray for them, but look at it differently. Like, so why? What's going on with these men? What is the root behind this? And even changing the narrative, like, speaking differently, and trying to just come from a different place. Not of frustration, not of aggravation, but of compassion. And like I said, because I have men in my life, you know what I mean? I have a son, I have a young man, I have two brothers that I love, I have a father. And even watching some of the things, and we all have male family members, and just you guys do experience different things than we women experience. So that's what this is all about. Like, I just want to uplift men. I want to encourage men. I want to show them, amazing, other amazing men. If you paid attention to the intro, it doesn't matter, what you've been into. There's no such thing as too far gone. There is no such thing as hopeless. There's hope for everybody, and there's hope for every situation. So, so my first question would be, do you guys agree with men kind of not have it harder, but men and women kind of get a different in the world?
That they have it differently.
As far as, because we know that we all make mistakes, right? We all make mistakes, but I think men get kind of bashed more on every level. I do. That's just, and I can be fair and say that, yeah, I think that men it seems that they have it a little tougher, because like I said, we all make mistakes, but men, it just almost seems like no returning sometimes. Like, so we'll start in relationships, right? Listen, yeah, I see your face, Christian. We're going right in, right? We're going right in. Women make mistakes in relationships, and you have, I don't want to say no good, because there's no such thing as no good, but not so good women, and that's not really magnified. It's really these no good men, and men, and all men are dogs. You ain't never heard all women were anything. I've never heard it. But like I said, that's just one of the things that you hear about men, even down to, when a man makes a mistake, it could be legally, right? Now, again, it's oh, there's no hope, and he's just going to always be that way, when you have women who make mistakes too. So I really think that because y'all are probably supposed to be the stronger ones, I think it's almost like, so is it supposed to be the perfect ones too? Like, is it supposed to be the perfect? Like, nah, y'all ain't supposed to make mistakes. Y'all supposed to, and matter of fact, that's a great place to start. Even men, as far as showing emotions, right? Showing emotions and sharing, like, hey, I'm going through something. A lot of times men are even told, like, toughen up, you all right. And that started way back when you were a little boy. A little girl falls and somebody picks her up and puts her on their lap, and oh, it's gonna be okay. And a little boy falls and his knee is bleeding, and somebody like, man, get up, you all right, man, shake that off. You don't cry. It's like, what's the difference? Hurt is hurt, pain is pain. So yeah.
From the beginning of time, there's been a level of expectation for men, and then with women there was a certain way that they're supposed to carry themselves. So I mean, you have a way that men are supposed to carry themselves, there's a way that women are supposed to carry themselves. Um, so when those expectations on both sides aren't met, there goes the bashing, the judging, how they're looked at, um, and then how that person feels inside when they're not meeting these quote unquote expectations, level of what a man is supposed to be or what a woman is supposed to be, these mistakes. And even if they begin to change, some things can carry on from their past, like their name is still carried through the mud, and then this person has to have it within them, having positive affirmations like, I went through this, but I'm no longer this, and I'm better than this, and I'm going to keep rising. So we all make mistakes, and we just have to know that, like, God is forgiving. We can be forgiving, and it's okay.
Rashad, did you want to jump in? I mean, I can yield to you, brother.
No, you go first. I'm gonna go after you. I'm gonna go after you.
Okay. All right, cool. Now I love what Dennis is saying. And I think I'm different. All right, so I see things differently. Okay, so I might say some stuff. We just rock with it. It's all out of love, but I think it's a matter of perspective, right? I've heard that, seen that. I choose not to be a part of the male bashing regime. It's not my area of being. I really believe in lifting up brothers, right? I think women have it hard as well. So
Absolutely.
I do agree that hurt people.
Right.
And so when you go through those situations, and sometimes there's a level and a mindset of an expectation. All right. So we can be, I just go to the relationship, let's go to the church world, right? You can look at a lot of the local church. I'm not just talking about the kingdom, but the local church, and you'll see it's not a whole lot of men, that is primarily women that will be in the church realm. And so, for years I would look at that and think that thing through. Now I don't start bashing men because they ain't there. That's not how you get them in there, by the way. But it's an area of identifying what it is. And I think the truth of the matter is, men, we have to be able to unfold. That's a word that I say a lot. And really what I mean by that is to develop. But peep this, develop in a judgment-free zone. See, with all the scrutiny, you can't mess up without being at that place. I am blessed to raise 3 kings. Like I got twins that are 13 and I got an 8-year-old. So they will all be Black African-American men. And I want to be at that place to allow them to unfold. So I get it. Growing up, you can't cry, you can't do this. My boys ain't never heard none of that. Right? So it's that area pertaining to recognizing that I want you to be strong, but I want you to be authentically who God created you to be. Okay? So this is where the preacher and the coach kind of comes out, and I'll pull back a little bit and y'all can shut me up by any chance. But I think that if we allow each other to really unfold the way that we're designed to be, like that's where that power comes in. I don't look, sound, I'm never going to act like Dennis or Rashai. And I thank God for them and who they are uniquely. But I think as we all come together uniquely of who we are, that's where the power is. Look, God created Genesis 1, us in his image and his likeness. He made no carbon copies. We are all individually different. And because of that, you can't put me in a mailbox, a black box. You can't put me in a lock box. You can't put me in anything. You have to really look at where I am, honor where I am, and then put a community around me to set me up for success. All right, I'm coming off of this thing. I'm off. I'm done.
Yeah. We just talked about that over the weekend, right? The community, right? That every individual has a quality about them that helps out one person like that next person helps that other person, and it's like a tight knit, a link to the next link. That's what makes every individual special.
I like what both of you guys said. Touched on some, some pointers. I'm gonna piggyback off of what Christian was saying, as far as when he went to the church. So me, when I look at, when I present myself, I want to be the way that God, laid it out for man to be. You know what I mean? And that's where if I'm not in that line, that's where I tell myself I'm falling short. Man supposed to be a provider, right? When I speak to my sons, man supposed to be a provider, man supposed to get up, take care of certain things, Yeah, I fell short before, growing up, because certain things I seen as being raised up, coming from my younger days, I thought was all right. You know what I mean? Until I got older and understand, like, no, gotta break this cycle. Certain times cycles gotta be broken. But when God got it laid out in the book, follow them. You know what I mean? Follow them with no question. Them the ones you don't try to add, you don't take. That's where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? When it comes to raising, my young sons or whatever, or any other of my offsprings, my grands, as far as even touching anybody's lives, you know what I mean? I start out with myself, if far as on that. And I like what you touched on, Kristen, far as it's not enough, you don't see the guys, and far as like, I'm Muslim, even with being at the masjid, you know what I mean? You see a lot of the guys, because the women supposed to stay home. But no, they at sometimes you got some who will come, because I feel as though that part should be equal. God said, keep that part equal. But yeah, like when I get onto, far as with me, and not playing my role of, I look back at what's written, how he laid it out, you know what I mean? Because living his way is, you're doing right. You know what I mean? You ain't got to worry about what somebody trying to say, oh, what society. No, I'm living God's way. So you can't come for me that way. If you do, it's just something that just, you don't see. But yeah, and that's where, like, I sharpen up on. And right now where I'm at, I feel like I done participated in my younger days of not giving off the right, oppression, or the right way that men should carry themselves. Because of course we get stigmas, you know what I mean? And I know for me, coming up, seeing my grandfather, my dad, had kids by different women, I thought it was okay. You know what I mean? I thought it was okay until I really seen the hurt on other people. You know what I mean? And seeing what I did, and I said, it's a time to change. You know what I mean? You can break the cycle. Not saying who's to say that who they seen coming up, they thought it was okay. I'm not coming at them or nothing, but I'm saying when you're doing things the godly way, is no other way to know that you're doing right. There's no in between. That's how I like to live it right now. I can't have one foot in, one foot out. I'm the one to go by the laws of the land, the way God laid it out for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the key to it. You said something very powerful. And Christian, I think you said it too. Like, Rochelle, like you said, nobody now can place a label on you. Can't nobody speak nothing over you, because you know and you believe what God says about you. And that's the key to it. Not just with men, but any of us. A lot of men, a lot of people don't know who they are because they don't know what God says about them, or they either don't believe it. But once you believe it, nothing else is going to matter after that. And then you're going to start operating. Like you said, Rashad, you pretty much said, listen, I know what God says about me. I know what he created me to be. So now I'm doing my best to walk in that. That's the key. You got to know it. And that's where that's where we become better. Not just men, but all of us. So now I'm walking in it. This is how I'm going to begin to operate. And that's the thing. Like, and that's what one of the other things God has shown me. Like, a lot of men don't know who they are. And that's why. And so when all these things are spoken over them, Rashad, like you said, like, you can't say it about me, even after a mistake, even in the midst of a mistake.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
But for men that don't know that's where the imbalance comes in, because then they'll believe I'm hopeless, ain't no hope for me, whatever the case. Go ahead.
Right.
you know what I learned that's so major is acceptance, self-acceptance. When we started talking, we started talking about brokenness. The self-acceptance really helped with healing the brokenness. For me, I didn't have to keep on hiding behind, like, I tried to be like this person, I wanted to be like that. um I began to seek me, what I was raised on, my feelings, and the qualities of a man God designed me to be. Not trying to be like such and such, and what they had and what they were about, and that's for them. See, that's why I was confused about my purpose and my meaning, because I was trying to be like somebody else and this and that and this and that, trying to please everything. I was finding pleasure outside of me.
Stay there, D. Stay there, man.
Then I tapped into, well, hold up. Who am I? God allowed me to start looking within me, because it's an inside job. My spirit, my heart, my soul, my mind. When all these things start lining up together, I start finding peace. I start finding humbleness. I start finding that dignity, that respect, that hope, that oneness. Now, with that self-respect, it brings me to a better place with the Lord. Now I walk in my meaning and my purpose, because he's able to reach me clear and use me as he always had. But see, even in the past when I was confused, that's still going to be used for my present and my future. Because now I can speak on it. I couldn't really speak on it then, because I was confused about my purpose and my meaning. Now I understand it, so now I can put it in there. I can put that in my testimony. I can put that in my message. How things was off in the past.
I think it's powerful. If I could jump in real quick. And I think it's a couple things. Oh, y'all are so dope. For real. I honor you, brothers and sisters. One part of this is we've talked about the pressure that people place on us, but in that self-examination, what about the pressure that we've put on ourselves?
Absolutely.
I think that's the area too that we got to continue to be set free from. As a matter of fact, I told you I think a little differently. So consider these perspectives. I throw these out there, right? Because, we'll say things like, man is broken, but that's already what I would say in my language pertaining to a lower level of consciousness and being aware. That's already putting the stigma out there that you're broken, right?
Right.
But what if we shifted that to an area of you unfolding? It's an area of development. So if you view pain as a part of the process and not take you as a place where you at a lower level of functioning, you talked about the area of love and peace and joy. That's higher levels of consciousness. That's higher levels of awareness with God. Watch, y'all both said it. God where? Within. So if God is within us and we operate, how jacked up can I really be? I'm just saying. Right. And so with that being said, I'm not saying the area of being perfect, but there's a level of with raising kids and doing life and business and everything else that we recognize when our kids do certain things, like, okay, get back up. Like, you ain't out. Like, you need to continue to unfold and develop in this area. And you'll have those moments when you may fall, when you may sink, when you get that area. But again, like I said, that judgment-free aspect where come on back in here as that community, as that team, and move forward And I think we've released so much negativity, fear, doubt, worry, lower level thinking that we're wondering why men and brothers aren't able to rise up and come off their mat and walk. Is because that hasn't been that area of focus.
Right.
And we have to, I think, see the value. If you look in around in my house, you'll see owls. It might seem weird to y'all, but I got owls. That's like my little prophetic symbol that tells me, Christian, look through darkness to see who people really are.
Whoa!
At night, an owl will see its prey through the darkness. It will see light. And sometimes we just stop at the visual, the appearance of, and we go off the appearance of, and we form our own opinion. But who I am is not what you see right now. I am speaking because it's something within me that rises up, and God within me agrees with God within you. And then we move forward, and that's where healing begins. So if I could take just a brief second, my brother, if you're watching here and you're listening to us talk, rise up from where you are. I speak to you and tell you that you're the head, not to tail, above and not beneath, that whatever word, curses, or spoke, or whatever you came from, you can make a decision now. Your new year can be right now, and you can operate in this next level. So go higher, still dream, still have vision, still move forward. Recognize that even when you're praying, you're not praying to just a God that's out there. You're praying to a God that is within here as well. And you cooperate to do powerful things. If we rise up and see how powerful we are, we'll see some things shift in this place. I'm going back up off of that. I'm done.
Listen, oh man, y'all got me writing stuff
I like
down.
that. I like that, Kristen. You went, yeah, Kristen went there. Yeah.
The revolution will be televised.
Meg, before I say anything else, do you have anything to say? Because you just chilling.
No, I was just taking everything all in. I was writing down how what Dennis was saying as far as like all the different fruits of the spirit that he's labeling as he's starting to put God first in all things, just seeing how he's able to walk in peace now, love, joy. He was just listing them step by step. And that's just because he put God into his life. He wasn't trying to take matters into his own hands. He wasn't walking by pride or anything like that at all. Once he realized who he was, or whose he belonged to, he realized who he was. So he was able to walk out in his purpose. So I appreciate you sharing that part of it with us, Dennis.
Yeah, when I go to work every day, 6 o'clock in the morning, this man right here, Rashai, man, he has that spirit from the early morning, and he is like that all day long. Peace, happy, and he let it like be communicable. You know, he passes that on to the next person. I mean, it don't matter who you are. And what we're talking about right now, this is not for the selective. This is for every single body.
Right,
you know,
right.
And that's what helped us to click and connect.
Yes.
And the same thing right here with Christian. You know, we're clicking and we're connecting. And for anybody who's tuning in, this is for you guys to click and connect with us and what we're saying for your spirit, for your soul, for your mind, for your body.
When I normally talk to someone, I normally say thank you too, Dennis. I appreciate that. You the same way, man. That's what connected us, you know, higher power. With man, Dennis had did a on my podcast. Man, Dennis had did a you know, we picked a title. We had two. I'm like, Dennis, what you think about embracing your situation? I say all that to say now where I'm at, when I say embrace my situation, I gotta allow things to happen. Well, when God do things in my life, it's not just to tear me down or at all. It ain't to tear me down. It's to show his work. You know what I mean? Let me show them what I can do. And then by them seeing that, what he do for me, and you know, many is called, but a few is chosen to put on that stage to show, like, you know what I mean? Like, listen, you chosen for me to use you, to take you, because I'm bringing you back, and you got to bring all them over here. You know, like we up here right now, all five of us. Is that men's call, but we was chosen to get here. You know what I mean? To keep that, you know, that keep his name strong, to talk about that spirit. So you hear a lot, but where we at right now, we vibrating on another level. You know, we talking about spirit. You know what I mean? We ain't talking about the physical at all, for real. You know what I mean? We talking about the spirit. And when you get to there, it's like another level. It's levels. You know what I mean? And I want everybody. They say want for my brother and my sister what I want for myself. I want everybody to reach heaven. I want everybody to feel this happiness, peace, and life. You know what I mean? God, no, I'm not lying. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm reaching back and I'm talking to a lot of younger brothers. And Net said something one time, and she was saying how certain people like may look at it like closed mind. I can't take a mentor. How can I let another man tell me something? No, when you got to get the pastor, the E-man is a man telling you right or wrong. So you're going to still need to be guided out. God going to put people. We need to drop, like, it took me a minute to drop that ego. You know what I mean? So if anything I could pass off, no, ego is easing God out. You know what I mean? Like it's just, oh man, like, you know, like that spirit though, yo, like, and Kristen, I love how you coming, like, you know, for real. I pray that we can continue this. We just started something right now, y'all. I think you ladies are putting this together, because I see a vision with this. You know what I mean? That we really going to be touching some souls, like, you know, for him. It's not for us, it's for him. You know what I mean? He just got us up here. You know what I mean? Thanks for letting me, you know, go in.
No, absolutely. And it's funny because look, I literally had to write stuff down because I'm like, I'm not gonna remember everything. But Rashad, you said something very powerful. You said what you saw, you copy what you saw. So that's what one of the things I was talking about in the beginning, how, you know, we see certain things and you're going to think it's the right thing. You're going to think it's the right thing. And a lot of times, like you said, cycles just repeat themselves. So when it's like, well, he should know better. Yeah, but listen, look at this comment. It literally says, where's it? Look, we had so many comments, but she said something to the effect of a man can't be what a man didn't see. And so Christian, that links to what you said, allowing a man or whoever to unfold, because you don't know what he saw or didn't see. So just allowing, and just instead of saying, well, they should know better and what they should, listen, allowing somebody to learn and to unfold, because like Rashad, cycles are strong and a lot of men don't even understand. So that's spiritual. See, people think, oh, that's too deep. I'm gonna be honest. I remember before I started rocking with God again, and my auntie kept to, oh, this, and I'm like, oh, she's just so deep. It's not even, is it really that serious? But when you get into it, you do understand generational curses are real, cycles are real. And so when you become aware of it, and then you start looking back, you like, you see it. You see that even I sometimes, so Dennis, like you talked about the things you had to come out of. Even me as a woman, I look over my life and I realize, and you don't know, right? But when you become aware and you start looking back, I was repeating cycles. I was repeating cycles. You know what I mean? I was repeating these cycles. I'm doing this thing because of that thing way back then. You know what I mean? We're gonna always, and think, I won't say always, but a lot of times, most times. So we're going to go back to childhood. We're going to become a product of our environment. You know what I mean? What was the environment like? And so some will just be resilient and it won't affect them, but a lot of times it will. And so you have to unlearn these things. You have to unlearn these things. And like, so Christian, you have to allow people to unfold. Like, listen, love me where I am. Love me where I'm, and encourage me where I am. Stop telling me where I should be and stop bashing me for where I'm not yet. Encourage me, walk alongside me. And that's why I have you here. Because like I said, like me and May, like I said, I have a love and I have a passion, and God has given me a heart to pray for men. But that's really only as far as I can go. Like we can all walk. I can encourage you, and I can support you and I can walk beside you. But when just even watching you guys feed off of one another and encourage one another and compliment one another. That's what men need. That's what we all need. But I think it hits different when you got it man to man. I think, like you said, Dennis, we were talking about that over the weekend. Community. And see, a lot of men, it's a lot of us, but we're talking about men. It's a pride thing. I don't need anybody. We all need somebody. We all need somebody. But even when you're accomplishing something, it looked better if you did it by yourself, if you got it from the mud, because it's look what I did all by myself. But how much easier, how much better is it with the journey with somebody next to you, encouraging you and motivating you. Christian, you spoke about look, y'all said so much. Oh, about the enemy. I know for a fact that that's where all this stuff comes in. We know the enemy doesn't want any of us to know who we are, right? He doesn't want us to know who we are, because if he finds out who he is and who he was created to be, now he's a threat. And literally, when I saw this vision of bringing men together, I literally heard clear as day. Not only when men learn who they are, believe it, begin to operate in that thing, it's not only going to just change them, it's not just going to change their lives, not just their families, it's going to change that. It's going to be a shift in the entire world when men believe who they are and begin to walk in it. Because you guys were created to be the leaders, and literally, like, that's why I believe the enemy really, he comes at everybody. But I think probably even more so, think about it, when a man's not right, the family's not right.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Right.
When a man, you know what I mean? And he knows that. He knows that if I can keep them in these cycles, then I can, you know what I mean? But if they break free, that's gonna be a game changer. That's gonna be a game changer. And that's what I've seen, and that's what I know, and that's why I really want men to see that, like, how powerful you are, how amazing you are, in spite of, like, seriously,
When you do away with pride and ego, that's freedom. Asking another man to help you because you see that they're in a stable position in life. You just don't know how much help that is for your own self, man. Like, let go of pride and ego and allow another man to help you. Like, I'm beginning to mature and grow at 43 because I'm letting other men help me become a man. If I would have held on to pride, I'd have been like, I'm a grown man. But really, I was immature in a lot of ways. It takes a man to admit, act, and keep on taking the necessary steps. It's what you need to do, not what you want to do. Kids do what they want to do. They are defiant to the things that they have to do. That's why they're disciplined the way that they are and rebellious the way that they are, because they think that they know it all. I'm grown. I'm not coming in at when it get dark. What I look like? Well, there's a reason for following rules and directions. And for so long, I wasn't following directions. Today, I follow them directions, and I'm getting a lot better results in my life. Following directions, asking for help, and allowing help to help me. Like Jate said, I got tongue tied. I gotta unlearn things, relearn things, open-mindedness, not staying in the darkness of ignorance. Sorry, Jate.
It's cool. I know you know how to say my name. It's cool.
Oh man.
And Christian, I think it was you. You said something very powerful too, Christian. Another thing you said was how we were all created in God's image. So absolutely, we know in Genesis he says, "Listen, let's make man in our image." So when people say, "Oh, ain't no good in him, ain't no good in her," that's a compulsive. That's one of the biggest lies. Because there's good in everybody. Because there's God in everybody. Literally, he not in one of us is God missing. We know that he's the only one that can create life, right? And if he said, let's make man in our image, that means everybody's got God in them. So there's good in all of us. Now, operating, we can say, oh, well, they're not operating in a good way, but there's good in everybody. So that's why nobody's hopeless. Nobody's too far gone, because there's already, like you said, Christian, there's already something in all of us. It's just about tapping into that. And that's what I think they need. But we're focusing on men again. That's what they need to know. Like, listen, in spite of whatever you done, listen, there's great in you. There is great in you. You were put on this earth to do great things. Nobody's here for nothing. If you are here, you have an assignment. You know what I mean? And I thank God. We can even look back to the garden, right? When they messed up, it changed things up a little bit. But he never said, okay, you know what, now y'all are useless. So even after a mess up, you still have purpose and you still have value. God don't be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna strip you of all your worth. I'm gonna strip you of all your purpose. You don't get to do and to be anymore. Like, no, absolutely not. So we have some Rashad, you quiet. You quiet. I'm gonna put some of it. Says yes, that pride and ego will keep you and yours in full turmoil. What's up, Josh? Thank you for tuning in. Josh says some people need that push, a positive circle of and a little guidance. Absolutely. And then somebody, another user said, she said, yes, men lack so much support. I desire a community for my husband like I have. Absolutely. And that was one of the things that we touched on during the weekend. Like, you know, not that men don't get together, not, you know, but you normally see women get together, you know, in the small groups. Christian, when we get done, when we're closing out, please let them know how to connect with Mark Men. But there's not a lot of that going on. So usually you see women getting together in community and encouraging each other and loving each other, but you don't really see that with men. You know what I mean? And it couldn't be, it's not to say that in a negative way, but is it out there for them? Is it out there for them? You know what I mean? So, like I said, again, this is beautiful to watch because we all need community. Women, men, like you said, Dennis, you're 43. I'm 39. And I remember I had somebody, well, Rashad, you touched on the comment that was made to me, like what I look like letting it up. Listen, I'm 39 and I got women sometimes even younger than me that we get together and she can speak something into me or over me. I got an 80-year-old something woman that guess what, that I call and I have hour-long conversation with because I don't want to think I know everything anymore. Because once upon a time I did. But there's so much power in community. I always, you know, people, you know, I'm quite sure we've all got this compliment. Oh, you're so this and you're so that and you're just so glowing. You're so full of light and joy and peace. And it's like, yeah, of course, it's God. Yet a big part of it is, I tell people, for me, community, being around amazing women like May, and she pouring into me. You know what I mean? And just that's a big part of it. I think we are our best virgins when we're just rocking alongside other people and doing life together, because we were not created to do life by ourselves. Like that's another trick. I don't need no man. That's a trick and that's a trap. And I think about isolation. I believe that's another heavy weapon of the enemy to keep people isolated. Cause see, it does sound cool. I don't need nobody. I'm good by myself. It sounds good. It sounds good.
Right.
But I'm telling you, after a while, it ain't cool. It ain't cool.
Me and Rashad ready to start hanging out because like I don't have nobody to really hang out with. Like,
and we both say that.
Now that I'm in recovery, like I cut people off and I need new friends to hang out with. Like there's new associates, but like I need some new friends that's on the same page as me, same mind frame, and where their heart is in the same place as mine, you know? So I invite some grown men that's getting their lives together, you know, let me know. Like, we can go bowling, we can go to the movies, we can just hang out, whatever. Some real fun, you know.
And I met a friend. My fault. I'm sorry, Dennis. Go ahead. I met a friend that. Oh, that was Chris. Oh, I'm sorry. No.
You got it, man. You met a friend. I was listening. Go ahead.
Thank you. And he said to me, he said, we got it, like the power, and you know, the men fellowshipping together is iron sharpen iron. You know what I mean? And I look at that, like I was speaking with one of my, and I called Troy like my secret weapon. He was one of the gentlemen I was trying to get on tonight. He like 30, 32, I think. No, he'd be 30. And you know, and by me having that open mind, Troy dropped so much jewels on me. And he always keeping God in it. You know what I mean? He never go off on his own like too much, you know, but he mainly, like, what I mean by, like, you know, everything he give me is like from the book. You know what I mean? Like, he always, and I'd be like, where would I be if I stayed closed-minded and felt like I can't learn, already shut down? You know what I mean? And I think that's something back to that ego in it, and it got a lot to do with what you were saying too, T, with that I could do it myself. And then the enemy love that, divide and conquer. I'm gonna divide you from getting help. I keep you by yourself. I'm dividing and conquering. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, yo, and because like you said, don't want us to know our true potential. You know, because once we know learn our true potential is a wrap. You know, and now I feel like I never knew that what was the jewel that was coming out of this from me, you know, struggling with my addiction and all this. You know, if now me seeing it getting to this side, I was like, yo, why I been couldn't, you know, get that? But God was like, I've been kept trying to, you know, give you the vision, but it took a minute. You know, now I embrace it. Like, okay, that's what happened. All right. Because like you said, T, they good that, you know, you would hear people say like, oh, you done. Or try to have you bury yourself alive, you know, because of the situation you may have went through. But no, it's still hope. As long as God got you right here breathing, he's not done with you. And he's not done with you even after that. You know what I mean? Because it's an afterlife. So he's never done with you. He always going to have that door open for us. He don't give us no more than we can bear. You know, and men, we tend to like quick to get like this, you know, oh, he ain't doing this. Oh, it's over for him. You know, no, I look at like this why me accepting him. But I'm one man that really firm on you gotta accept him in your life just to see the wonders he can do beyond what you can imagine. You know what I mean? Like just that spiritual, that soul, like dealing with like me, the way I see it, and I know I get this strong feeling that we all here can, you know, relate. That really like Christian said, I look beyond what I see. So we're not just dealing with what we see here. We seeing something else, you know, and seeing the good in them, seeing the God in the person, no matter what happened. Like, you know, go ahead, Kristen. I'll let you go. Thanks. I appreciate you too.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I love that. I mean, that's super dope. The funny thing is, I'm in Jate and May. I mean, if I'm taking this a direction y'all don't want to go, please, I yield to your leadership here on this. But the thing that I think about too is it's power in us getting together. It's power in us talking, and everybody needs a safe place where they can detox and develop. Okay, so I would just put it that way. But the thing that hits me though is we've kind of tiptoed around this a little bit. Is like that purpose though. Like we all are here for a unique purpose. And I think that we really should take the time to identify. And I ask brothers and ladies when my wife and I are coaching is like, I'll say like, what's your passion? Like, do you know how many people are just doing life? Like their mindset is like, I just need to survive. Like y'all see the shirt. If you don't, it says thrive. Like that's where I'm at. Like it got to be a place of thrive because I don't subscribe to just surviving. Like again, I'm made in His image and likeness. I don't see God I don't see Him just surviving, y'all. I don't see Him just barely making it. I don't see him on his left. I see the area that the first thing we see, at least in the canonized scriptures pertaining to the Bible is concerned, the first thing you see is the area of creative. He creates. I mean, that's what we see. So if God is creative and we made an image and likeness, don't that mean we're supposed to be creating? And so there's purpose inside of us to release in the earth realm. So that hits me how many times I'll ask, so what is your, and think that maybe a self-examination, you coming toward the end of the year. Don't wait till January to have your New Year's resolution. Like, have that mindset now. Like, how do I want to show up in the earth realm in 2023?
Right. Yep.
Like, think about that now.
Yeah.
Like, so I call it a passion statement, and I develop one around October every year. It's like, this is how I want to show up in the earth realm for the next 12 months. And it can be tweaked. And listen, y'all, that helps me with my yes. That helps me with my no's. That helps me with what clients I take. That helps me with direction I go with as far as ministry. That helps me with everything because I'm able to recognize and dial in. This is why I'm here. This is purpose. And you know, when you know purpose and you know your passion and you're operating, fear and worry, it has to go because I'm zoned in. I'm not going nowhere because I got this assignment in the earth realm to operate from. And so even seeing this, I want to encourage us to sit with it. Like, what's that passion? Some of y'all watching don't believe you can get paid for your passion. Some of y'all don't believe that you can get, I'm here as a living witness to tell you that you can get paid for your passion and get paid well. I know y'all ain't talking about that, but I just believe in the area of abundance. Like, we got to move forward and break through. You try to minister to somebody and help somebody, and we don't have some of the tangible, mental, emotional fruit. We have to have the fruit as first partakers to take some people through. So I want to encourage somebody up in that area for that business concept, my brother, for that thought that, like, come, let it unfold. Let it release it. Don't fear it, like, rock it out. You might mess up, but it's a part of the journey. Move forward, rise up, launch that concept. Be that in the earth realm because God can give you one message. One product, one message can shift your whole life and your generation. Wow. I say it all the time. Truett Cathy made Chick-fil-A the most powerful sandwich in the world, in my opinion. Okay, Chick-fil-A. So I go from there and I get there. He didn't stop with one. He took a system and duplicated it. And it's Chick-fil-A's all over the place. Like, you, whatever you got now in you as it's being birthed, it can't stop with you. Wow. It can't just stop with your household. It can't just stop with, so I already heard you say, I got a podcast. That's the world. Anybody can have access to that. What are we releasing in the earth realm? And I just want us to rise above the sin consciousness and the lower level thinking. I'm not condemning my brothers and my sisters, I promise you. But I think that we spend too much time fighting an enemy that's already defeated. Wow. So why do we keep doing that? The devil this, Satan this, all that. That's, I get it. But we got more power than that. We are a lot of times spending ourselves on the front line in battle. Our ancestors did that, y'all. I think we got to make the decision right now at 8:06 EST on October 28th and say the cycle that we've been talking about is broken. It's broken. How can you say that? You understand that? Listen, this is how, for my conviction, and I'll shut up. Listen, it's a mindset. If we can be transformed by the renewing of our mind, a lot of what goes on, break the mind, break the man. So it's the mindset that we have to keep strong. So many times, after a while, people telling you, you can't, you're nothing, you start believing that. You ain't never going, you're going to get out, you're going to go back to jail, you're going to go this, and this. It's not, the system ain't designed for you, this and that. You believe you can't win, and you don't win. You have power. I see it in the comment section. Walk in your power and your authority to change these lives. We need each other. I'm excited to hear Rashad and Dennis operate and do whatever they're doing. From this point on, whether we talk or not, I just know that y'all in the pavement pounding it and doing what you need to do, lives is being changed. The fact that y'all are on here releasing what y'all have. Listen, Friday night, y'all on a Friday night.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna tell y'all what I was doing. All right. Anyway, so y'all doing this on a Friday night. That's going against it. So I applaud all of y'all. I salute all of you. Thank you for your life. Thank you for your legacy. And I just speak victory over your lives.
That was so good, because I was thinking about the self-examination part even before you brought it up, Christian, because we all know in John 10:10 where it says the enemy came to steal, kill, and destroy, but God came to bless us and bless us in abundance. So the more that we follow him and we're examining ourselves, we're able to walk in our plans and our purpose with it. And that's how we're blessed with those divine appointments and those divine interventions with people, so that we can depend upon each other and we can be held accountable and be able to walk out in that purpose and continue walking in it. But we have to recognize that God puts us here for a purpose, and the purpose is him. Everything that we do that's within his will is going to bring him glory. So we just have to continue walking in it. But it starts with examining ourselves and putting him in our hearts and in our minds and having an open heart.
Miss May. Yeah.
What you got for us, Dennis?
Man, you know, we're all visions of light. We're all visions of hope. And what we're doing right now, it's just bigger than us. So we're also seeds, you know, and this is where it starts, you know, and it's a blessing to be a part of it, you know, and I hope that we can continue this. Part 2 to be continued. More will be revealed, and keep shedding light, you know, and keep drawing in the people. And they tell someone who tells someone who tells someone. You get it? You know, why not? And just let people know that it's okay to do something different, but it's also so rewarding, especially when your life hasn't been so right. And the way that we're living our lives is also a struggle, but it's what we're doing today with the power of prayer, the better choices that we're making, where our heart is, where our minds are. Now that we're surrounding ourselves with each other and whoever else that we're around, you know, again, we're available. You know, we have a platform, we got our hand out to someone else to take it, and we lift you up. That's what we're here for, you know, because someone did that for us.
I want to say to you know, to the guys that's watching, you know, is pain is power in pain. I took my pain and I turned it into the power, you know, got the podcast, and all this is all basically running off my pain. You know, I got a vision out of it from God, you know, from my pain. And I get on there and I love doing it. They say when you love doing what you're doing, it ain't work. You know what I mean? I'm like, I can get, somebody told me I can get paid for this, but that's why I'm up here Friday, and they know I'm on vacation. But guess what? I'm like, what? They call, I'm getting on there. Like, you know what I mean? This is my calling. I felt like, you know, I'm here. Like, I'm here, you know. But yeah, let other guys know, man, it's power in pain. So, like you said, Kristen, we flip that mind is that with that flip, you know.
Well, May, do you have any y'all done close us out. Y'all y'all done closed us out. May, do you got anything to say before we end?
No, I just want to say thank you to all of you, to Christian, Dennis, and Rashai. Thank you so much for coming on here, even on a Friday night for the kingdom to help build it. I thank you to all of our viewers for rocking out with us. If you haven't already, subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. Continue to share us on our Facebook page. But we do truly love each and every single one of you. Continue to let your light shine because it gives God the glory.
Piggybacking off what she said, like, thank you guys so much. This was so powerful. Like, seriously, the thread ain't never looked like this. The thread ain't never looked like this. I can't even put all these comments on it. Like, I couldn't even keep up. But I do want to put this one up. Look, she said y'all are a triple threat. Y'all are a triple threat. She said y'all was going in tonight, but my ending comment would be everything that we heard, pretty much the key to better, right? And to this hope and how not just me get there, but again, that's who we're focusing on. How we all get there is knowing who we are. And how do we know who we are? You can't know who you are unless you know where you came from. I remember God showed me the example of adoption, right? So again, a lot of men don't know who they are. And so they're chasing and they're chasing and they're chasing, whatever it is, right? And life is good and it's fun, but you realize, like, but I'm never there. And that's because you're chasing after the things that will never fulfill us. We're all void until you start rocking and doing life with God. I think about even the example of adoption. So somebody could be adopted by an amazing family, right? They love them and they have a great life and they grow up and they be successful and they get, in the movies you see, they hit maybe mid-30s and it's like, but that feels like there's something missing. Mom, Dad, I love you. You'll always be my real mom. And, you'll always be my mom and dad. I appreciate everything. But there's just something missing. I got a great career. I could even have a great spouse. And it's like, I just have this need to know where I came from. And that's all of it. Knowing where we came from. When you know where you came from, then you know who you are. You operate in that. Pretty much the game changes. The game changes and it gets better. So, if again, Dennis is extended, if y'all have been amazing. Thank you to everybody that has tuned in. Feel free if you got a follow-up comment, question, just whatever, please hit up our page. This is amazing. Like, this was amazing. This was so impactful. This was a blessing. And we just look forward to we Dennis, what did you say? To be continued. To be continued.
More will be revealed.
Definitely. Well, absolutely. Well, love y'all. Y'all have an amazing night. Thank y'all again for tuning in. If this blessed y'all in any way, shape, or form, share it with somebody that you think can benefit from it. Y'all have a blessed, safe weekend.